Okay, hello again. We're going to be talking about meetings and events in this outline and video. Of course, this is based on the textbook Public Relations Strategies and Tactics. The authors are Wilcox and Cameron, the 10th edition. We're going to be talking, as we say, about meetings and events. Meetings are vital public relations tools, and they let the audience participate, which is a good thing. It's a face-to-face kind of thing, and it happens in real time. People become more emotionally involved, feel that they have more of a stake in the activity because they are involved, and that makes it a valuable public relations tool. One of the best known events, and is also considered a convention, a trade show, but nevertheless a major public relations event in Las Vegas every year is the Consumer Electronics Show, and it attracts 130,000 people. Let's look at a short video on that.
It's been a long week here at CES. Team Engadget arrived in Vegas back on Friday last week, and since then we've published over 250 stories and 70 videos, and we might not even be done yet. After seeing as much of this sprawling tech show as we could, we're finally ready to reveal our picks for the official Best of CES awards. Our team spent hours having some spirited debates about who the nominees and eventual winners should be.
We'll pause that there, and if you want to watch the whole thing, of course, it's a 10-minute video. You're welcome to do it and give you more of a sense of how big an event that is. And then the PRSA, Public Relations Society of America Annual Conference, not nearly as big, but still a very sizable event, attracts about 2,000 people.
If it wasn't for the professional excellence of all of the PR teams that I've worked with, I wouldn't be standing here today because my work would not have been famous. Purpose is deeply personal. Think about how your own purpose can fuel the purpose of the company that you're working with.
What do our audiences need from us? What can we provide that they will value? Getting a deeper sense of who these people are.
It is vitally important that we reach out, all of us, communications professionals, you, to encourage us to reach out to people who we disagree with and listen eloquently.
Often, it is actually the constraints that leads to our creativity. Think about what your user wants to hear from you and how they want to hear it, and then you will be the most effective.
Thank you.
You guys are the best.
Thank you so much.
You're giving me goosebumps.
Okay, so that's the PRSA annual conference, and those are two good examples. Detailed planning for an event is necessary, and then it's a good thing to do post-event evaluation. How did we do? What went well? What did not go well? For group meetings, again, the planning is obviously essential, and some of the questions you want to ask in doing the planning. What is the meeting's purpose, first of all? You don't want to get into this. Too much work, too much expense involved unless you have a very specific reason that you want to do it. How do we get people to attend? How many will attend? Who will attend? Where and when, obviously. How long will it last? Who will speak? What will be the topics? What facilities will be needed? In the textbook, and I hope some of you, and hope all of you, have a copy of the textbook, but there's a really good checklist there on page 415 in this particular chapter on planning a meeting. The textbook is a great reference, by the way. If you think you're going to go into public relations for a career, it'd be a good book to have and keep as a reference book. Meeting facilities, there's a lot of considerations there. Things for the PR practitioner to check. Meeting identification, meaning signs posted on the marquee at the entrance or some sort of very prominent place at the very front of the building, so that people know where they're supposed to go. First of all, this is the building, and then what room inside the building is the meeting taking place. Lighting, is it adequate? What about the controls for the lighting to raise lights and lower lights, screens and monitors for videos, and then of course microphones, projectors, video equipment. Today most people who speak want to have some kind of software, presentation software that they will use. What about seating and tables? The speaker's podium. Are you going to provide water and glasses for the speakers? What about the printing of programs or agendas? Providing notepads, pens and pencils where people can take notes as they're listening. Name tags for people. A lot of considerations in planning a meeting, and this is an area where some people specialize within public relations. Now then, specifically banquets, these are large and formal functions held to honor an individual, sometimes to raise money, to celebrate a particular occasion. Obviously this involves food if it is a banquet. So what kind of food? What kind of room? Then are you providing alcoholic drinks? So will bartenders be necessary? What about the decorations for the room? Audio-visual requirements, always a consideration. Speaker fees. If we're going to have a speaker, a prominent speaker, then that's going to cost a considerable amount of money. Entertainment that may be provided in the form of a musical group or what have you. Photographers to capture the event so that it can be shared by people who attend. Invitations, tickets, marketing and promotion. All of these things have to go into the planning for a banquet. The ticket price, not unusual for it to be $75, $100 or more, but keep in mind that is not just for the meal, and people who attend understand that's not just for the meal, but for all of the other cost of the event. A speaker's fee may be $60,000 or more, and I've heard of much more than that, depending on who it is. Former president might, in a foreign country, might command several $100,000. There is the Washington Speakers Bureau, which can help to arrange a speaker. Also, there's an organization called the Harry Walker Agency that specializes in that. Receptions and cocktail parties may precede a dinner or a banquet. And the purpose here, again, we want to ask you, why are we doing this? And the purpose is to let people socialize. The emphasis should be on interaction and not speeches at a reception or a cocktail party. If there is a speech or some sort of ceremony, it should only last 5 to 10 minutes, very brief. Usually a reception or a cocktail party lasts about 2 hours. You want a large room and maybe some chairs around the perimeter of the room, but mainly people will stand and they will move around as they meet other people. Probably want to provide appetizers. If it's a cocktail party, you're darn sure going to have a bar, although usually only beer and wine may be provided because there's a concern about liability. Or you may want a no-host bar or cash bar in which guests buy their own drinks, and that again is a consideration having to do with liability. So conventions. These are a series of meetings spread over 2 or more days, and The PRSA event that we saw in the video a few minutes ago certainly is a good example of a convention. The purpose is to gather and exchange information, to meet with others with similar interests. People from all over the country, maybe all over the world, are coming together, and there's a lot of knowledge there within that building while the convention is taking place. They will discuss and act on common problems. Of course, there is social interaction, so conventions are important events for organizations. Planning is similar to the meetings and the banquets. There's a lot of planning involved. A lot of thought and preparation has to go into it. The convention will typically have a basic theme, and speakers will be arranged related to that theme. And I would say that as soon as one annual convention is over, planning begins for the next one, if not before. So it's a long-range thing. Trade shows, and the Consumer Electronics Show would be an example of the trade show we saw a few moments ago. This is considered the ultimate marketing event. You are the people who participate, the organizations that participate in a trade show are showing off their products. And so their ultimate aim is to sell the products. And there are around 6,000 trade shows per year in the U.S. We've already mentioned the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas with 130,000 attendees. Now, at trade shows there will be exhibit booths where the new products are shown off. A firm might spend as much as $1 million on an exhibit booth. $50,000 certainly would not be unusual. Here's more from the Consumer Electronics Show and to give you a sense of the exhibit booths that they have there in Las Vegas.
Hey guys, at CES, there's supposed to be some e-bike stuff here, but just having fun exploring the interesting electronic stuff and thought I'd do a short video about it. And I'm here with Chris from Propel, and we're gonna check out some Panasonic e-bikes maybe and Bosch stuff. It's like people can engrave their names on these little tiles and they're all disorganized. This little guy picks them up and puts them in that template. It's just incredibly fast and precise. Oh, that was like oh, we beat it! Hey Jim, will you just tell us what's going on out there with what is it, Morpheus?
Yeah, so Morpheus is an example of our technology. As Omron, we are in AI, robotics, and automation. So Morpheus is trying to share how robots can work in harmony with people.
Huh. Well, it's interesting because it's like really good, but I have seen it have a couple of like misses, or.
Okay, we'll pause it there. You can see how elaborate and therefore costly some of these exhibits can be. The Consumer Electronics Show is in the huge convention hall in Las Vegas. It may be the biggest in the country, maybe the biggest in the world. Just goes on forever as you're walking through that thing. It's an amazing place. The booths typically have about 10 seconds to capture the attention of a passerby, because everyone is competing for their attention as you walk through this massive building. So the competitive aspect of attracting attention is great. They will provide hospitality suites where the companies may entertain key prospects and give presentations. And then there are press rooms and media relations facilities for journalists, and they provide media kits there, which we've talked about. They provide phone and internet facilities for reporters to write and file stories. And then promotional events are planned to promote a product, increase organizational visibility, perhaps raise funds for a charitable cause. Creativity is essential here because, again, we're trying to attract attention, probably get news coverage, to create buzz and interest. This is usually a promotional event, happens when a new product is being introduced, or maybe it's an anniversary. For example, Hasbro's 60th anniversary celebration of Candyland. I bet you remember playing Candyland when you were little. Turned San Francisco's Lombard Street into a game board. Lombard Street is this famous street in San Francisco that is on a very steep hill, and it winds around. It's very curvy street, and so they turned it into Candyland for its 60th anniversary.
San Francisco's famous Lombard Street underwent a colorful transformation as the world's most crooked street became the world's largest board game to celebrate Candyland's 60th birthday.
Are you happy? 1, 2, 3!
The game was created in 1949 by a San Diego woman recovering from polio. 60 years later, patients from a local children's hospital got to play the larger-than-life version.
Wanted to help them go to this magical land where chocolate rivers overflow and ice cream snowflakes fall out of the sky.
The entire 1/4 mile stretch of the world's most crookedest street was covered with 134 different colored game tiles.
Blue! It's all about the blue! Here they come!
Some ran. Others rolled. As they...
Okay, we'll pause that there, but it's a very clever idea there to promote the anniversary of Candyland. So a lot of creativity goes into these events. Hiring a personality is a time-honored way to gain attention, of course, for a promotional event. Again, this is going to be costly. Major celebrities may charge more than $100,000. There's an organization called Celebrity Source that helps to arrange the participation of celebrities, and that might be helpful. So this might be an area that the meetings and events might be an area to specialize in as far as a public relations career. This sounds interesting and fun, then give that some thought. All right, that's the extent of our conversation on this subject, and we'll see you again next time.